What's up? Another video this week. We are on a freaking roll. Give me a second. I'm trying to formulate a thought here. So we are on our way to go and train right now. No crazy intro for this video. We just kind of want to get right into it. We have deadlift today. So this is a week 4 deadlift. Supposed to be a 3x6. Sorry, Keith. I am doing a 6x3 instead. I'm not going off program, but definitely switching the set and rep scheme just because I am not going to be able to muscle up a 3x6. I would rather do higher sets, lower reps than the other way around for deadlift. Especially with my history of getting injured on deadlift, I'd rather not put myself in a position where my technique is compromised. Even though with deadlift, the better you are at maintaining your technique under fatigue, the better off you'll be. In some cases, doing that level of volume just doesn't work for some athletes. I'm not saying I know my body better than my coach, but I got to make an audible here and be like, look, I'm still going to do the volume overall, but we're going to get there in a very different way. I typically will go against the grain a couple times. But thankfully, my coach understands that I'm also a coach, so we basically collaborate to be able to work on my program. I don't just go off program because why would I hired my coach if I'm just going to do whatever I want anyways? But, whatever. And then after that, we have front squat. We're going to try and do a better job of it this time. I know I haven't recorded anything to do with front squat, but I struggle with trying to get myself in a front rack position. I tried doing the crisscross. It worked on the first week, but then after a while, it just had a harder time really trying to set my shelf. That's just kind of the thing with front squat. It's not really that comfortable. But we're going to try and do our best today to maintain that, and then we'll see what happens. So nothing too crazy. It'll be a leg day. I'm really excited. I actually love training legs. I am one of those people who genuinely love training legs. I don't like training arms. I have very small biceps for someone who's 110 kilo. Like very small biceps. I'm working on that. I'm working on that this off season, but truth be told, I don't like training arms. I think training arms is so boring. I like being able to push my legs so that I don't have to wear pants during the wintertime. I like being able to wear a hoodie and shorts because that just asserts dominance. I mean, I've grown up a donk because of that. So, we'll see what happens during this leg session. I might puke. I might not. My hook grip might give out. Who knows? Might have to throw the straps on today. Straps on, you sickos. So, yeah, this should be fun. So without further ado, let's get to the gym, have some fun, and hope we don't mess up the old pantalones in the middle of a deadlift, if you know what I'm saying. So, let's get to it! Just got done with training, and that was probably one of the best deadlift sessions I have had in a while. Now, originally the plan was to go 3x6, which is what was programmed for me, but I have a tendency to let my technique break down as I get more fatigued, and knowing my coach, he wants me to be able to push beyond the 500 range because I do pull over 600. So not being within that higher percentage, week 4 would definitely disappoint him in a sense. So I went with a 6x3, which granted did have its own difficulty within itself. I'm not sure if my coach is going to be happy about it. We'll find out, right? Now, the thing is that because I'm also a coach, My coach also allows me some leeway when it comes to my programming, whether it's my accessories or my approach to things. So long as I can speak to it and justify it, then he typically is okay with it. So that's one of the things when having a good relationship with your coach is you're able to collaborate as much as possible, because being a coach is more so about being collaborative than it is just being authoritative, right? Being able to just not only tell your client or tell your athlete what to do, but work with them synergistically so that you guys are able to reach the end goal as a team rather than just your boss telling you what to do as an employee type of thing, right? So overall, it was a good session. I would say this block was tough coming off of my meet. I don't typically do this level of volume, quote unquote, and it had its hardships, especially because last week I was at a meet where I was working basically the whole weekend. I did like 4 sessions, both handling, loading, warm up area stuff. So I was definitely tired going into the next week, to the point where I felt like I was extremely hungover, even though I don't partake, but it is what it is. And this week we actually went a lot better, so I was really happy about that. Squat, I'm not a big fan of SSB to the next, like, some extent. I do enjoy using it as a secondary, not so much as a primary. That probably would have been a better option for this block, is going normal squat for the primary and then SSB as the secondary, but I'm not the coach. I'm just doing what my coach tells me to do. Did I do my front squat today? No, I did not. I was pretty gassed from deadlift. I'll let you go into it in that second. Bench went really well this block. Although we didn't get the 308 for 6, we only got 5. I did do that after having done 3 sets of 6 prior to it. So really pushing that fatigue, work capacity, so by the time we get to the end, we're able to see if I'm able to maintain my technique and force production and everything as I'm getting closer to that threshold, which is awesome, right? And then finally for deadlift, the biggest thing was trying to just maintain my hook, maintain my positioning, maintaining that line of force, of equal force of push-pull, right? We're trying to pull the slack out and push out into the floor so that the hip is able to drive it to the bar. That's all we're trying to do, right? And one of the issues that I have with my deadlift and how I pull my slack is I tend to over-rely on the pulling portion, and that's where I think I injured my back during prep. So I was being a lot more conscious of it, but also keeping my arms nice and loose and just letting myself fall into that nice position so I'm able to engage the hip, wedge, and drive. Now I did get this nice little, I don't know if you guys can see that, my pinky got really messed up from hook grip, which is funny because you would think my thumb would be messed up, but no, it was actually my pinky, because the bar kind of rolled a little bit at the very end. So yeah, but the thing is that I don't think my adductor was really liking the bigger scope of volume I did. So by the time I got to my last set, once I was done, my adductor was a little bit stiff. So I opted to just do a pendulum squat as my quote unquote secondary. I mean, it is what it is. And it wasn't really feeling that great, so I had to narrow the stance out. So I was very quad biased, which is fine. I need bigger quads anyways. And then just kept it out with some hamstring curls, single leg, calf raises, pushing the intensity as much as possible to get that stimulus, right? It doesn't have to be overcomplicated with your accessories, guys. It just needs to work. You don't have to constantly change your accessories either. Just pick a rotation of movements that you will push consistently, and you'll be good. So yeah, that's how training went. So I'll go into a rant in about 2 seconds. So give me 1 second to collect my thoughts. So it is ranting time. As if I didn't talk enough in the last clip, we're going to talk even more. So I wanted to kind of delve a little bit into this idea that people are not giving the same effort to their coach that is being given to them. The job of a coach is to be able to teach you to build your program and to essentially build you up into your peak, right? So that you're able to be the strongest version of yourself. And this is specifically for powerlifting. And this might carry over into things like bodybuilding, strongman, even personal trainers as well. If you are not giving the same level of effort that your coach is giving you, then you are setting yourself up for failure. At that point, why did you hire a coach if you're not going to work hard? And I know when a lot of people hear that, I've had a lot of posts where I say that and people get really offended, which is interesting, that some bearded guy on the internet is telling you to work harder and you're getting upset that you're being told to work harder. Because more often than not, people don't work hard enough. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I've seen it with my clients as well, where they'll tell me, I'm overly fatigued. I feel like I'm overtraining. I feel like I'm not progressing. And it's like, yeah, because you're not pushing your accessories. You're not pushing your your top sets into the RPE range that we want you to be. You're constantly either severely undershooting or severely overshooting, right? And I don't typically just give RPE. I give ranges for people to hit because it allows them to be able to pick loads that are going to reflect their recovery and how much they're able to give that session. But when we have clients that just don't check in, don't fill up their sheets, don't execute their nutrition, don't recover, constantly party, and then they go train and they sandbag everything, or they overshoot their top set, skip their back downs, and then just sandbag their accessories. Come meet day, they go, 1 for 3 on every lift, or 2 for 3, and not hit any PRs, and they're like, well, I don't know what happened. Well, we have all the data. We have all the sheets that you didn't fill out. I don't know what you did. And for them to be like, well, I'm working as hard as I can. No, you're not. I promise you are not. I promise you you're not. And I know it's a hard pill to swallow. If you're dialed in, if you're truly dialed in, you're not going to do it when it's convenient for you. You're going to do it from the moment you either hire a coach, or you're going into prep, or the second you decide you have a goal in mind. You are supposed to be locked in the moment you do so. And even if you have a busy life, family life, whatever the case may be, because I know I'm going to get people that say, well, it's not fair because I have this, that, and the other. Powerlifters and other athletes make it work. Okay? It doesn't have to be overly complicated. If you have to eat the same ground beef and rice 3 times a day, got to do it. If you got to get steps in while you walking the dog, got to do it. If you're training, you're already in the gym. Why not push your accessories? Why not? You're already there. You can't overshoot your accessories. They're there to help support and build up as much muscle mass as you possibly can get. So why wouldn't you do it? So when I get people that make the excuse that I'll lock in later, or I thought I was locked in, you weren't. I promise you weren't. You are not giving your coach the same effort that they are giving you. So the sooner powerlifters will understand that, especially the newer gen powerlifters coming into the sport, the better you will be once you go into open. Dominate as much as you can in your junior years, but go balls out when it comes to your open, debut. So that'll only happen if you actually try. I don't know, or don't, and then quit after your first year of powerlifting because you didn't go to Sheffield your first year of competing, and then we'll never hear from you again. And then someone else that wants it more than you is going to go to Sheffield because you didn't want it bad enough. I don't know. It happens. I'm pretty sure there's someone out there that quit right before they were supposed to go to Sheffield. Don't know. So, yeah, sorry about the rant. Sorry if I offended a couple of you, but that's just reality. Sorry, guys. I don't know what you want from me. I'm just the bearded guy. I'm just here to help powerlifting grow in the right direction and sometimes make you laugh, but hopefully I can do that next week when I get the freaking mics. Dang mics. The whole thing has been such a pain in the behind. Trying to find the right mic that's going to fit this camera, right? I have to be so close to this camera to be able to get the right audio, and it's quiet in the apartment right now. So, go figure. And we'll see what happens, hopefully next week. I did want to touch on one very touchy topic, but I'll save that for another video, and that's going to be Article 14. I feel like that's going to be one of my biggest rants to date, and probably my most important one. And I want IPF to be able to hear it as loud as I can possibly make it for them, because it's got to go. Article 14's got to go. But that's going to be for another video. So, with that being said, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I love you guys. It's been a pretty awesome ride so far, and I'm going to keep trying to pump out this content as much as you can. I'm shooting for 3 to 4 times a week. I feel like that's pretty doable for now. So, yeah, don't have to be too long of videos. This might actually be my longest video to date. Sorry, guys. But, yeah, love you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, hit those PRs, and I'll see you on the platform.